All right, I wanted to have this. I wanted to make a quick recording. I was going to do this live, but decided I would make it a little bit more of a case study. So I was. People asked me, Curtis, you should talk about a little bit more about what you do, and how it applies. So some of you don't know, I'm a financial educator. I have my own firm, Practical Wealth Advisors, and we really strive. I'm part of something called the Prosperity Economics Movement, where we strive to tell the truth about money and really help people understand how money really works. It has always been my contention that most people don't get financial education, they get financial training, right? Or really a financial indoctrination, which basically says give your money to us. So they don't teach financial education in schools, and so you're taught go to school, get your education, get a good job. Translation: go into debt, work for earned income, the highest tax, and go back to school so you can go into more debt, earn more income, so you can pay more taxes and stay on that treadmill. All right, and just keep doing that, and trapped. And you can have anything you want as long as you can afford the monthly payment. So most people are trapped in what we call the debt paradigm, which is another subject. But I wanted to go through a case study. So I was playing ball this morning, and talking to after in between games, I think a guy asked me, we're sitting there waiting for our game to come up. He's like, well, what do you do? I says, well, I'm the anti-Wall Street financial advisor. Is what I told him, and which always gets a laugh. I said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, I have an insurance-based strategy where I teach people how to run their personal economy like a bank. We call it, privatized banking. So, who has the most money in the world? Banks. So if you learn how to stop doing what they tell you to do and start to learn operate your personal economy like that. So we talked about that, and I teach alternative investments or alternative things that are non-correlated with Wall Street, where your money's safe. And he says, well, who do you work with? Regular people. And because he says, I've talked to the Charles Schwabs and to some of these other companies, and I said, he said, basically, do you work with millennials? Because these guys tell me I need $50,000 or $100,000 to get into investments. Really, you do need about 25 grand to get into any meaningful investing. But what I like to do is work with people on the front end of that and show them how to actually save properly, and then to get into things with leverage. And then, one of the things that we teach is you want to build things that send you a check a month, not holding it in some entity for 30 years. So long story short, he says, well, I'm working, and I'm teaching. He was teaching. He moved up here from somewhere, Baltimore, I think. And he says, well, I worked, bought a house, got the house rented out, making about $500 a month. My wife would go back to school, and I worked, and we were taking turns. Now the first time we're both working, so we're saving, but we got kids and this and that. We can't seem to get ahead. I know we should be doing mutual funds and investing in that kind of stuff, but we always need money for something. And I'm about to go back to school in about 2 years, and I'm wondering what I should be doing. We might have to move again, and I probably will rent this house out and rent somewhere, and I want to know what I should be doing. So I figure, this is instructive. So in that 5 minutes, I said, well, we should get together. I gave him something to read, but I'll kind of walk you through what he should be thinking about, right? And so what you should do is first rule of wealth is you got to pay yourself first, right? And so, but what people are taught to do is to do this. From your savings, you're taught to put money into retirement plans, right? Into investments right from your income. So right from the get-go, they're telling you to fill up what I call the yellow tank. You see that letter there that says risk, okay? So now you're putting your money at risk, because what can you control about the market going up or down? Absolutely nothing. And you put it in a qualified plan in a box where you can't touch shit. Maybe you can take a loan against it, But basically you've got it in a box that you can't touch without penalty or taxes for the next, depending on how old you are, 20, 30 years. And life happens, so you need money. And so what happens is I said, look, you need to save. He is saving. So right now in a regular savings account, you're not getting any yield, and it's taxed. And you're saving dollars that the longer you have them, the less they buy. All right. So you should, I like the verb of saving, the habit, but where you're taught to do it is not the right place. Okay. And so one of the things that you got to do, but let's talk about what's the lesson. So the first thing is, first rule of wealth is what? You have to pay yourself first, right? Now, you want to store it somewhere safe that will allow you to have access to your money. So the key is liquidity, use, and control. All right. But here's the problem. What most people do is they come out and, so if you either have money or you don't. Like if you don't have money, this is your tabletop. So let's say you want to go on vacation. So what can you do? You can either, what do most people do? You save money and you spend it, or you do what? You go into debt, put that $3,000 on a credit card, and then you pay it off over the next year or two, and then you use your debt for something else, and then you pay it off. And so you're constantly working your way back to zero. This is what most people do. Or that's the lifestyle of the debtor. Well, you can be the saver. Here's what the saver does. Because people say, well, I should pay cash for everything. All right, well, here's the thing. You save, and then when you need to do the thing that you want to do, what do you got to do? You got to take it back out. And you save, and you got to take it back out. And so the problem is they're different, but the net result is the same. You end up at zero. All right. So what I teach people is, there's an alternative. There's a pattern the pattern of the wealth creator, right? So here's the wealth creator. They put their money somewhere where their money will grow. So you need to have money. You need to have access to money. You need to have uninterrupted compounding of your money, okay? Because compound interest only works if you leave the money alone, right? So I said, what if you could put it somewhere where you could access it? Because he says, well, what if I need the money? You're going to need the money. That's called life, okay? Kids need camp. Transmissions need to get fixed. Hot water heaters need to happen. You want to go on vacation. You want to, it's all kind of stuff. So you don't want to lock your money up into a box. Hey, listen, I tell you, look, I want you to live the best life you can right now. All right. And so what happens is, but what if you could access that money through collateral? That means using it as collateral, and then pay back the loan against your money. But the power of that, what is, your money continues to go up, so you get utilization and you have the ability to still maintain growth. And so let me ask you a question. Which one of these three people are you? Right? Are you the debt saver? Are you the debtor? Right? Are you the saver? Now, which one of those are you? And what one would you like to be? The wealth creator, right? And so how do you do that? Good question. And so what you should do is, if you'd like to hear how to be the wealth creator, you should text 267, text cash flow to 26786, and I'll give you my gift to you as a free ebook called Financial Planning Has Failed, where we go over the banking strategy, the family banking strategy, or we call it the private reserve, and we will go over the alternative investments. But let me show you why getting out of this pattern is important, and then we're going to end this video. So here's the truth. People say, oh, I pay cash for everything. Well, there's a cost to cash, and so what people don't, and the Ramseys of the world, they don't teach you in personal finance about opportunity costs. So opportunity costs is what the money would have become had you left it alone. So let's just take a real simple example over a 30-year time period. Let's say you save $5,000 a year, right, or $400 a month, $200 a pay, all right? and you just got 5%, so no exorbitant rate, and you did it over a 30-year working lifetime. Well, what would happen is that money would grow if you left it alone in a tax-free environment to over $353,000. Okay. Now, what if you took the same $5,000 a year, but you saved, but every 5 years you what we call drain the tank, right? And here's what I mean, because what most people do is they save money and then they got to take it back out, and they save money and they got to take it back out. Well, that's what we call draining the tank. And so most people have put and take accounts. But let me ask you a question. How much money do you make on the empty part of the tank? Nothing. Okay, and so that's the problem. And so let me illustrate that to you. So now what happens is, let's say you were saving, but you need money because life happens, right? And so now every 4 years you got to take the money out. Well, the difference in those two things is one has $353,000, the other account has $71,000. That's a $282,000 difference, folks. That's the opportunity cost of you accessing that money. Now I'm going to end with this. I think, there we go. And so hopefully you can see this. Let me move my camera over. All right. And so let's say you saved, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 21. Let's see if we can move this down. All right. So you see $353,000, and then you see 5, 10, 15, 21, drain the tank. 5, 10, 15, 21, drain the tank. And then what happens is, because the compound interest only works is if you leave it alone, right? And so what happens is the difference is major of, over almost $300,000 of the opportunity cost by you messing with the money. Even though you didn't take it out towards the end, you never catch up. All right. And see, so that's the power, and that is really the true cost of paying cash. And so I got to ask yourself, well, where could I put this that gives me the ability to kind of basically have my cake and eat it too? So if you'd like to know more about that, that's too long. I'm already 6 minutes over what I intended to do on this video. But again, you can inbox me, shoot me an email to kurtmay@gmail.com, or you can text 26786. You can text cash flow to 26786, and we'll send you a short ebook that will explain that. And you can definitely I'll put a link in there where you can, if you're just curious, you can I have an appointment. You can set a 15-minute complimentary appointment with me. Put yourself on my calendar. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And this is what I do. This is an offer I give. I do a lot of financial education workshops. So I said, listen, I try to put time out there, free time out there to the community. So if you've got a question, getting out of debt, I do a lot of small business consulting. Give me a call, or put yourself on my calendar and let's talk. Have a great day.